decline, because in each industry is facing it at a different pace. So the breweries industry is one of those industries that have taken a huge hit because of this translation losses. So as time goes on, as the CBN establishes this sustainable environment, you start seeing prices reacting to it.
But talk to us a little bit about how global prices, the prices of most of these commodities like wheat, corn, cocoa, and sugar are also impacting on domestic prices.
Yeah, so obviously we have our importation bans of so many of these commodities, but cocoa, which is also another major export of ours, is doing well right now in the global markets due to the dry weather seasons we're seeing in Ivory Coast. So that's good news for us. But cocoa has been on a bearish trajectory for the past few months. So that environment is still there, but right now we're seeing some bullish sentiments in the market due to this dry weather conditions.
But then the Minister of Agriculture some time ago at an event talked about how they're working to improve some of these crops, including cocoa, to reduce the number of time. Do you think that we have enough to incentivize farmers to want to still do that part? We already had a lot of farmers and they've been complaining about so much losses being recorded.
Yes.
Do you think there's enough to incentivize them to go back to cocoa farming?
Yes, there is. The margins are there for these farmers to capture. The only problem is in the value chain, they're having distribution problems, they're having some problems with storage and all that. So once the government can target those tiny areas, everyone is looking at, the planting of the crops and all that, but you're not looking at the end of the value chain, so distribution and storage. So once policy can be targeted to those areas, more farmers will be encouraged to focus in that sector.
On the value chain, because it's really very important, especially for those of us who like chocolate. Because we've got a lot of companies trying to make, locally make chocolates, and you can't appreciate them as much as the foreign chocolates because of the components. So if we have good quality cocoa, you can make good coffee, you can make good chocolate, and improve the rest of the value chain.
Yes, we can. So it all boils down to policy targeting the right areas and making locally made products more attractive to the domestic market.
So Chimaka, let's get your views on how the rest of the market should be for the rest of the week. This is Thursday already as we count down into the weekend, and looking into next week.
Looking into next week, we should still see prices remain at current levels. But like I said, manufacturers, producers, everyone is waiting for there to be sustainability in the FX market before they translate this FX advantage, push this FX advantage on consumers with a reduction in prices. But right now in the flour industry, actually, there's like I mentioned a few weeks back, that Dangote and flour mills are currently embroiled in a price war. So it turns out that Olam has actually joined this price war. So we can expect to see prices going down, price of flour going down to 9,000 naira from 10,500, which you currently use at.
Yes, I just wanted to quickly get to that. 10,500 for Lagos, at least Lagos in Kano and Onitsha. That's what you have it at. But do you see, not a lot of people really eat bread these days. I know I had to cut down on my bread intake because, it was making me put on too much weight. And but even at that, that's one of the most commonly found commodities in most people's homes.
It's breakfast, it's lunch, it's dinner. Whatever you want it to be.
Whatever you want it to be. Chiamaka Hajebu, Economic Research Analyst at Financial Derivatives Company. Many thanks for coming on the program today and giving us putting more flesh to the highlights from FDC's report.
Thank you for having me.
Let's take a look at some other issues that we're tracking on the program. Still talking about commodities, and we're talking about energy now. So yesterday we didn't see any activity on corn oil. We're taking a look at the 7 of benchmark oil and gas stocks we track on the program. So no movement on corn oil at all. Forte oil was off 0.26%. to birth at 46 naira 41 kobo. Investors still booking profit off this particular equity. We saw a volume of 926,965 units recorded. For Mobil, that also dropped about 33 basis points to 298 naira 1 kobo. and 65,572 units were exchanged by investors. No activity for MRS oil, but Owando dropped 79 basis points. Most of them, at least we had 4 of the major 7 in the red at the close of trade on Wednesday. So Owando is at 5 naira 2 kobo with a volume of 1.40 million units exchanged by investors. Seplat, no percentage change there, but it finished at 398 naira with 478,100 units exchanged by investors. Total dropped 0.76% to finish at 272 naira 90 kobo with a volume of 79,683 units exchanged by investors. So these 7, as well as some other oil and gas stocks on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, recorded lackluster movement, and so we see the daily index return at minus 0.29%. Year to date is at minus 6.5 with dividend yield at 2.2. Let's take a look at some other energy news. Nigeria's government has unfolded what it describes as a power sector recovery program with the aim of creating a more viable and vibrant power sector. At the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said the power sector recovery agenda would, among other things, simplify and reduce cash deficit, which has accumulated as a result of reduction in tariffs by the previous administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. The agenda is expected to foster transparency, improve governance in the power sector, address access to renewable energy, guarantee predictable foreign exchange policy for the power sector, among others. Also, approval has been given for the extension and management of Katsina Wind Energy Farm project. According to the minister, the Katsina Wind Energy project was awarded to an expatriate in 2010 and was meant to be concluded in 2013, but the project was stalled because of the kidnap of the expatriate, who later left the country after his rescue, and he never returned. And Mr. Fashola did not disclose who the new management of the newly revived project would be. Well, Business Morning continues after now. We're turning our attention to the banks in just a moment. Stay with us.